Welcome back and thanks for watching. So in this video, we are going to do, as I kind of introduced in the last couple of videos, we are going to do an example in 4/4 time, and we are going to try to translate that or write that into 3/4 time. Okay? So, and this is really doing these translations, and I'm calling them translations. Frankly, I've never heard anyone call them translations, but that's frankly, it's not a bad name, I guess, for what I would call them if I had the option of naming these myself. And I'll just draw this line right here to divide our board. Um, you know, calling these translations, I don't think it's a bad name. I think it's accurate. We're translating a musical example from one time signature to another. So anyway, this is, I think, one of the best ways of teaching what tying notes together can do. We will do a few examples where we're just tying notes together within a bar, or just, I create an example with tied together notes. But I think that doing this translation will help out overall with your rhythmic reading, and also help you out with realizing, what how time signatures work, I guess, and what the system of time signatures means. So anyway, let's do this. So we're going to have our example be a 3-measure example. And the reason I'm doing that, if you remember our last video, we have to fit. So we've got to fit how many. Well, first off, let me say this. So our example is going to be how many beats long. If we have 4/4, if we're in 4/4 up here, and I say that this is going to be 3 measures in 4/4, how many beats is this going to be? Well, we did this before. Remember, where we had 3 measures of 4/4 times 4 beats per measure. That's equal to 12 total beats, right? So I can just write that in right now. I'm going to write it in. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And this isn't my beat analysis right here. This is something separate. I'll do the beat analysis in red, the way we've normally been doing it. But right now we've got beats 1, 2, 3, 4. Then in this measure, and I'm just numbering these in total, so it's not like I'm starting over with each measure. In this measure, we've got beats 5, 6, 7, and 8. And this measure, we've got 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay? So now let's think about, just right now, let's think about where we're going to put our bar lines in 3/4, and also how many measures in 3/4 we're going to get. Well, let's do it up here first. So we've got 12 beats total. We know we've got 12 beats total, and we're dividing that into groupings of 3. Okay? So what's 12 divided by 3? Well, that's 4, right? Okay, so that's 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that means we're going to have 4 measures of 3/4. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring down this last bar line, because I know that 12 evenly goes into 3, 4, or 3 evenly goes into 12 4 times. So I know that we don't have a remainder of beats left over or anything, so I'm just going to bring that bar line down. And now I'm just going to divide these up, put in the bar lines right now. So after 1, 2, 3 beats, I know I must have a bar line. Okay? Then after 4, 5, 6, there's another 3 beats. I know I've got to have another bar line right there. Then 7, 8, 9. There is our last bar line. So that is our division of how this is going to work out. Every 3 beats, we just put a bar line out of these 12 that we had. Okay? So that's our setup, and we know this is going to work out this way before we've even written our example. So let's actually, you know what? I'm going to create a new layer on this. because we could actually do, this could even be our template for doing a bunch of different examples, and maybe I'll have it be that. So let's just write an example. How about the first note up here is going to be, let's say it's a whole note. So it's going to be impossible to write that whole note down here, right? Because we've got, because this whole note takes up 4 whole beats, and we only have 3 beats in a measure. So that's going to be a little tricky to work it out so it fits all down here, right? So anyway, we'll figure out how to do that. Then after that, let's say we've got quarter note, half note, quarter note, okay? And then let's say we've got half rest, quarter rest, quarter. Okay? And that's our example. That's what our example is going to look like in 4/4. And now let's put in our beat analysis. Now this should be pretty straightforward. We just play one on the whole note, then 2, 3, and 4 in no man's land, 2, 3, 4. 1 on this quarter note right there, 1. And then we play this half note on beat 2. 3 is in no man's land, and then 4 is underneath this quarter note. Now we can switch over to blue for our rests. So beat 1 happens there. Beat 2 is in no man's land. That is in no man's land right there. Beat 3 happens under that rest. And now beat 4, switch back to red, is happening under that quarter note. Okay? And now let's do our green arrow analysis. Again, pretty straightforward in 4/4. We have a downbeat on 1, hold for 4 beats. Okay? And remember, doing this green arrow analysis, this is one of the important parts, because these green arrows are going to look exactly the same when we translate this down into 3/4. Okay? So let's move on. We have a downbeat on 1, downbeat on 2, hold through 3, then downbeat on 4. Okay? Then we just rest for the first 3 beats of this measure, so we don't need anything here. And then we have a downbeat on 4. All right, so that is the arrow analysis of the 4/4 bar. Now, I really want you to think about, I'm going to end the video early right now, or I'm going to end the video without writing in anything in 3/4. And I want you to try to write this in 3/4 right now. You've really got all the tools now that we know what a note tie is, and we know how note ties work, and we can put note ties within bars. They don't always have to go over a bar line. And we also know that when we translate this, what we are saying is that this arrow analysis has got to look the same when it ends up down here in 3/4. So anyway, I'm going to end the video now, and please at least try to write something down and try to figure out what this would look like when we translate it or rewrite it in 3/4 time before moving on to the next video. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.